DE have needed to rework the way that we acquire affinity for a while. But honestly, the problem is that, like, if they touch it and they don't increase gains across the board, it'll just make people unhappy. Because what really needs to happen with affinity in general across the totality of the entire game, they need to probably multiply the amount of affinity gained by 4. If we're being honest. Because there's so much shit to level that, like, people need to be able to level it quick. And, like, formatting has long since become a slog, even on the most efficient missions. Yeah, taking off lenses and upgrading them and, like, that whole conversation is a whole different thing. But also, yes, you're right. We've talked about that before, too. So a level squish, basically. Like, it would essentially be a level squish. It's basically, you just need to increase the playability of, like, leveling things, right? Because I also think along with that, for higher MR players, you should be getting your Warframe ability unlocks of your MR as well as the points. Because what is one of the least enjoyable things about forming things? Forming your Warframe and having no fucking abilities besides your one, which is often not a good ability. Some Warframes get out of this, like Saren, where her one is her best ability. But imagine, and let's not even say you're like me and you're MR 28. Because if you're MR 28, you get everything. If you're MR 10, very conservative, by the way, 10. Quite a while ago was the most populated MR, and that was a time ago, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was like MR 11, maybe 12 now. Those being the most populated MRs, how would it affect those players? The majority of active players. You'd have access to your ult right away, because you get it at level 10. So even though it wouldn't be your full power ult, you'd have it. And that would help you out a lot. Yeah, I'm MR10 on PC. I missed my MR24 PS4 character. Just hit MR20 yesterday. Yep. But, like, how much of a difference would that make for you guys, just in general, in chat? I know a lot of you are probably higher MR because you're hanging out here. How much of a difference would that make for you guys, though? Like, you would probably Forma more Warframes in general, right? I would say so. Would you guys agree with that would be the case? You would Forma more Warframes if you got access to your abilities because of your MR? I think so, personally. Forma more if more weapons were good, too. Sure. The ability locking is specifically what's keeping me from it. Yep. Randall sitting on 0 Forma because I'm too lazy. 27 bottleneck for me is getting Forma. Yep. Because it would really help. It would really help to be able to get that extra. Right? Because, like, the lower levels of these abilities just aren't relevant in the grand scheme. They're not. Like, it's fine that they exist, but they're not really that relevant. Because, like, here's the thing. Like, I would probably Forma a lot of my Warframes, again, if I kept their abilities. Because, and I can just use them normally. Like, my 4 is a little less powerful. I'm sure it'll be fine. I can still do regular content with a full build. But what happens whenever I Forma Mesa? Oh, I have my 1 for a whole mission. Ugh. My Titania right now. Absolutely perfect case. I would level my Titania because I could just play as her. So my 4 wouldn't be, like, quite powerful enough, but I could use my 4, the point of the Warframe. Doesn't this go more towards increasing the gap between high MR and new MR players? I think it actually does the reverse. Because getting to MR10 is not hard at all. It is not difficult. It is like that, if not a higher MR, is the most populated MR by active players, based on data I've gotten from DE in the past. So those would be regular players. That would be like, if it's the most populated, those are your newer players on average, and like those are like, that's the bulk of your community. So how is it going to affect those people? Only positively. Is there an MR cap in your idea? No, I don't understand. This idea is just to allow people. So okay, so so for being higher MR, whenever I form a weapon, I keep my points up to my MR. So I get 56. Yeah, 56 points. I get 56 out of 60 whenever I form a weapon. And for weapons, that means I'll just throw a Forma into them. And often I'll just keep my full build on there, and the weapon will be identical for whenever I, like, before I formed it and after, which makes leveling up weapons very easy. There's likely going to be a max MR of 30. Yeah, agreed. And by likely, I mean, like, that's definitely the case. Didn't you earn your most recent for the player on MR10? Probably. But on these, I'm much less likely to Forma this Warframe because I lose all my abilities. I get all my points, but it doesn't matter that I have all my points because I lose all my abilities. Because the points only really matter what Warframe you are for the actual abilities. So, what does every fucking build while I'm leveling end up looking like? I turn myself into a Naros. That's what I do. Because I can't engage with my abilities. I'm not allowed to. So instead, I engage with what I have, which is bulk. That's it. And it's not interesting or fun. It'll be interesting or fun getting as close to this as I could. Like, maybe I'm leveling and I'm like MR 20, and it's like, okay, while I'm leveling, I can drop stretch, and we can drop Mace's waltz, and we can drop a few things that don't matter too much. Maybe go with intensify instead of transient fortitude, and do little things here and there just to get the number down, so I can still put on like a build where I can use Mesa, the Warframe Mesa. This is using a Naros, not Mesa. Even though I'm leveling Mesa, this is a Naros. Like, you would still unlock abilities normally the first level, right? Then each Forma would tie abilities to MR? No. I think you should just have it. You should have your abilities based on your MR, just like weapons. It should accrue exactly according to the points. You normally unlock your alt at level 10. So you'd have your alt at level 1, or level, I think everything starts at level 0, technically. But you'd have your alt, your base unlock for your alt. If you're MR10, you'd have that immediately. It'd be the exact way that you go across levels right now. It'd be even better if Forma just never took down your level but were more expensive. I mean, sure. There are reasons you don't want to do that. But them being more expensive is not like, what do you mean? When you say more expensive, what do you mean? Because they're already going to be a 23-hour build time whenever these changes come in. Like, the time is most of the cost. $23 for Forma? Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be 23 hours for catalysts and reactors and Forma. I believe it is. In the build, in the changes that they listed. 23 hour wasn't a meme. Pretty sure it's literally listed on the forum. Same build time, but the resource cost is like 4 times heavier or something. I would rather not. I would rather have the change I'm saying and have to re-level it. Give me one good reason for that. For it to be 23 hours? Because it's the thing that people have been suggesting for a long time so that it does not fuck with their schedule. So at 24 hours, here's what happens, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen. Here, okay, let me explain the theory. Should be like 12 hours at most, yada, yada, yada. Whatever. Here's the theory. These take 24 hours to build. If I start building it at exactly noon, the next day, I cannot start building it until 12:01. And then the next day, it's 12:02. And then the next day, it's 12:03. Over time, you will not be able to build Forma at the same time you would log in every day. You have an hour grace period. So if you're a person that plays at 2 p.m. every day, you will be able to build your Forma as long as that's the first thing you do. Or if it's the last thing you do. But it was 12 hours at current? No. It is 24 hours at current. Also, if it takes you 30 minutes to farm a BP to craft it, won't be ready when you log in the next day. That as well. Feels only at 5 p.m. the next day, it'll be, sure, 30 seconds. And 5:01, yeah, so on and so forth. Basically, it won't stay on schedule for you. But yeah, it's a totally reasonable change. Like, people have asked for a while, and I've always been like, that's a minor change that I don't really think actually matters very much, but sure. But they're doing it, and it's like, okay, whatever. It doesn't change anything for me. Because, like, I'm not playing daily. Because I don't have daily things to do, and neither does anyone else, really. Like, in that kind of a way. Like, Warframe is not a game where I'm logging in at 2 p.m. every day. At this point. Like, I could see how it could be that game for people at one point, but it isn't that game anymore. Because DE haven't been developing that game for a number of years. Right? There was a point where DE were developing that game. And I was logging in every day. But DE aren't developing that game anymore. They're making Railjack. They're making glitches. They're making New War. But they're not making daily driver Warframe anymore. Yeah, almost weekly weapons. Monthly events, basically. Like, we're not there anymore. And like, for a little while I thought we were gonna get back into that with this. But how long have we been? I haven't even looked at this in this long. 1 second. Give me a moment. I haven't looked at this in a while.
Flash and bite.
Yeah. 152 days of this.
But
5 months. 5 months of this one Nightwave with no unique rewards in sight for like a long time. And this is an intermission. So none of these rewards in here, period, are unique, actually. Except for Arlo's flame decoration, I think, was unique. There's like one thing early, I think it was. And that's it. And otherwise, there's no unique rewards in here. We've been on this for 5 months. 5 fucking months. And it's just not... it's not engaging. I really like the Nightwave. I really like it. Whenever it feels like I'm... Even on these rewards, where it's like, oh, I'm getting something meaningful. Right? Like... I'm getting like a new unique ephemera. Cool. Boosters. That's always nice for people. Oh, Exilus. Neato. Like fucking a pack of Forma. Oh, I appreciate that. Energized pieces. Always like to see those. Oh, more Warframe slots. Oh, people love that. Unique armor. Maybe people miss it. Neat. Umbra Forma. That's cool. Like, we have all this shit in here where, like, even if it's like repeats like this was, it's like, I'm still engaged with that. But the moment it becomes these, I'm disengaged. There was a brief glimmer of hope that we would keep getting new ones, and like maybe an intermission would be like, oh, this will be like a month and a half, whatever, just enough time for somebody to catch up on the 30 rewards or whatever. And that's cool. That would have been cool. But this has been 5 months of intermission. That's not an intermission. This is now. Okay. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. This has been running longer than the unique Nightwaves. Oh, I know it's the longest Nightwave, but I'm pretty sure in totality, this has been running longer than the unique Nightwaves. In totality, like adding them together. It's longer than all other Nightwave combined, including the other intermission? Yeah, I think including the other intermission, this isn't longer. But I'm pretty sure if you add the other 2 unique ones together, this is longer. It's not longer than them combined because the second Nightwave season ran a little longer than usual since it was extended. Okay. As long then, basically. But yeah, so then this is the normal, because there was the other intermission. Yeah, this is the normal, and that shouldn't be how it is. I like this content. I think they did good. I think this is a worthy replacement for alerts, because alerts were not being utilized. This is a system that will get me to log in and get these cool, unique rewards and evergreen rewards that I want, like Forma bundles and like X-list adapters and slots and like reactors and catalysts. And fuck it, people want Kuva, people want ducats, people want endo. There's stuff in here that people want and people will log in for, but this suddenly became not a priority. Like, this repeatable daily type content is a thing that they have to develop. They do have to develop this stuff. I get that. But there needs to be a team that does live content and a team that does big updates in Warframe. Straight the fuck up. Like, if Warframe wants to be the game that they kind of seem to want to be, someone has to be doing, like, actual, like, hey, we're running this event this weekend. Hey, the new Nightwave's up. And have intermissions be like, okay, intermissions are going to be a month and a half. Okay, maybe 2 months. Whatever it takes. But, like, having unique Nightwaves is like a necessity. And sometimes there could be a really unique Nightwave or whatever. But like there needs to be a Nightwave. It has to be a thing. Because this is constant content. It's making people go back and do old content that they wouldn't otherwise do. What's on here? An exterminate mission with only level 30 or higher enemies without triggering alarms. Would I ever fucking do that without this fucking thing being here and me wanting rewards up here? No. 0% chance. Actually, a 0 fucking percent chance I would ever go back and do this without needing things up here. 0. Fucking win 3 wagers in the index. Would me ever go back and do this without wanting things up here? No. I have infinite fucking credits. I have 121 million fucking credits. I do not, under any circumstances, need to go do the index. Will I do it for this if I want stuff up here? Yes. Syndicate missions. Am I going to run syndicate missions without needing this? No. It's a million things. What this does is it capitalizes on the content they've made. That's what it does. It takes the things they've done and it forces you to interact with them in order to progress. That's what it does. Like, I'm not going to go do rescue missions of my own volition. Am I going to go enjoy some rescue missions because I'm doing it for this to get this? Yes. Because rescue missions don't have their own worthwhile rewards. So this creates the worthwhile reward on top of what you're already doing. Help Clem. Am I ever going to go help Clem without this? No. 0 reason for me to do so. And that's the reason for this. It's because these come in weekly and they're like, oh, I should log in. Oh, I should log in is a feeling that DE does not care that much about, it seems like. And it's a feeling that they can, I think, fairly easily get. What do we need? What do we need for intermission? Do we need big fucking cutscenes and a fucking insane storyline, just like branching paths and all this weird shit? No, we need a theme that is in world, kind of vaguely, some story tidbits, and cool fucking rewards. That's it. It's not any more complicated than that. It doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to make it difficult. It doesn't have to be a mainstay piece of content that takes fucking 5+ months to develop. It can be simple and it can still be good. It doesn't have to be difficult. I take a basic theme on the rewards even. No need for story tidbits. Sure. But just like bits of lore is just like the spice on it. That's all you really need. It doesn't have to be like a big thing. You don't need to add the wolf. You don't need to add the fucking infested, whatever the fuck they were called, guys or whatever, to all the missions in the game. You don't need to do that stuff. Nightwave should be a reason to go back and do content, or to engage with content you haven't engaged with for people who are new. Emissaries, yeah, whatever the fuck they were called. I don't even remember. That's not the important part. Chasing the PoE and Fortnite player spike. Well, if they did it the way Fortnite did it, it'd be hugely successful. What does Fortnite have? Fortnite is a fucking vaguely at best connected to gameplay. Vaguely at best. Oh, Fortuna, you mean? But this is okay. But it's relevant though, because this is a very Fortnite thing.
Welcome.
If they did it the way Fortnite would do it, every time like we would get to 30, and then like a week later there'd be a new path to 30. If they were doing it Fortnite style, if they were trying to chase that shit. Yeah, chasing. You are like, they're allowed, and it's smart to chase after the spikes of Fortuna and PoE. That's fair. They need 2 teams for this. They need 2. They need a live team and a development team. And they're both development teams, but a live team does something different. They keep your game alive. They make things happen. But big content drops does work for Warframe when it's good. The problem is that like we're having these big spans of time of no content in between. We can't have big spans of no content, because the more times that happens, the more people like just don't fucking care anymore. Yeah, and exactly that, Preston. Whenever the new content's not good enough, like whenever Railjet comes out and it sucks and I don't want to log in for it, you know what I'd still be here for? A cool ass new season of Nightwave with neat rewards. I'd still be getting on for that shit. I'd be like, you know what? At least I got the Nightwave. I'll go back and do some things I already did. Do some cool shit. Play the good parts of the game that I like. Go back and do that. Okay. Sure. 400%. I'll be here for that. I'll ignore Railjack. I'll ignore the thing I don't like. Are liches out? Oh, well, it's a good thing there aren't any fucking Nightwave challenges related to liches. And like, you don't add those challenges until you feel like that content is polished and that people like it. Right? Like when liches launched, no Nightwave challenges related to liches. None whatsoever. Don't do it. Later, whenever you do like the lich refinement update, you're like, okay, we added a couple challenges for liches just to get you guys to try it again. That's smart. Going over like liches. I'm pretty close to liking liches at the point where they are currently. But yeah, the way that they're utilizing this type of in-game content is that they're not utilizing it. Would it be bad for the game if they added skins or frames that were exclusive to Nightwave? That only came from Nightwave? No, because that already exists. See, the thing I don't want them to do is not have intermissions, right? I don't want them to not have intermissions. I think intermissions are healthy. I think there should be more unique Nightwaves. And the intermissions should be allowing people to catch up. Like this one. Like, whenever you do an intermission, 2 months or whatever, you have it be a random selection of past Nightwave things. Then you have a new Nightwave. People get the new things. Oh, hooray. And whenever you have the interspersed intermission Nightwave, you have things much like this one, where it's like, there's things in here that everyone wants. There's things in here that everyone wants. As players, like, what do we want? Well, a lot of people want Kuba. Sure. Ducats, sure. Slots, absolutely. Endo, 100%. Fucking these and that and the other thing. Like things I've said before, boosters and stuff, people appreciate those. And then you have the unique rewards like napalm grenades or whatever. Maybe people miss these. And you have like energize, evergreen reward that people are going to want at a pretty high level to keep people engaged. And like people get to the end of this track and then you tack on like an extra week of like getting these credits or whatever, just to make sure that people like have some time to get it, like the intermission stuff done. And then you get a new Nightwave out. And that new Nightwave comes out and has new content. And the people that had all the old content that maybe took a little break are back now. Yeah, Plague Star is a good event. You know what's nice about Plague Star? When it comes back. But you know what's really weird about Plague Star? Because there's very clearly not like a live team. Plague Star only comes back when people are like, where's Plague Star? Where's Plague Star? Guys, have you heard about Plague Star? 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 Like that's the fucking echoing in the background of chat during dev streams. That's when it comes back. And it shouldn't be. There should be a live team that is managing like, oh, that should, you know what, during this intermission, we're also going to run Plague Star. We should do that again. How about that? People love that event. Let's fucking run it again. Fucking run it back. Like, right? And then whenever like major like events are going to happen and like major patches are coming, like Railjack or whatever. Okay, we're not going to run any events. That thing's going to come out. Okay. Okay, we can do that. Well, it's just not, it's not that crazy. It's not that crazy. It really isn't. Plague Star is actually Forma Star. That's true. But yeah, like it's just mismanagement in a lot of ways, which sucks. Yeah, like they should be able to do that stuff. Because, like, for a long time, they were working on major additions to the game. And also, there was, like, weekly, if not bi-weekly, content drops. And was it massive in the early days of Warframe? No. It's like, oh, here's 2 weapons. Here's another weapon. Here's this. Here's that. Here's this. Here's this. Here's that. Here's this. But it was constant. It doesn't need to be constant. It can be a little bit more of a big thing that'll last us a while. Like, I don't know.
It's that time again, dreamers.
Like, I don't know. Something like this. Weird. Weird. Something like that. Or something of that nature, kind of thing. And then maybe intersperse some weapons and things. And, like, there's stuff to do. Like, just doing that and these big updates. Both can be done. Both can be done. DE's team is big enough. It really is. They don't have to have all hands on deck, everyone get in here for this big update. The big updates could honestly take a little longer or be a little smaller, and they could have a good amount of people working on them. But like having a team that is actually keeping pace with what an online game like this needs is important. It is. It just is. Because you know what game is getting like pretty frequent updates right now? And it's like stuff is happening and then stuff is happening and then stuff is happening. You know what game is doing it right now? Monster Hunter. Exactly. Monster Hunter World. Iceborne came out, and now there has been just a regiment of like, what's this? A release. What's this? A release. What's this? A release. What's this? Content, bitch. What's this? A new fight. What's this? A new mod. Like, that game has been doing it. What's this? A new event. It's been doing it. Monhunt is doing it right now. And even if DE doesn't have a team the size of Monhunt's team, they can still do that. Because, like, you just have to do it at a slightly lower level. DE isn't a AAA studio. They don't need to be. They don't need to be a AAA studio to have content to do. Rerunning old content can also be content. Did Monhunt keep it up for ages, though? Monhunt doesn't need to keep it up for ages because that game is $60 and they're going to make another one. DE are the ones who need to keep it up for ages. That's the whole thing. Yeah, okay, anyway. What time is it? It's 1 a.m. in the morning. I am going to go to bed. That's what's going to happen here. This has been a fun time talking about this shit. Hey, maybe this gets posted on the channel as a fucking stream highlight or whatever. This has been more common now. Hey, we logged on Warframe. We started ranting. Who's surprised? 1 a.m. in the PM. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. But yeah, it's problematic. Because like the big content releases, like sometimes they hit, but like right now they're not. And whenever the big content releases don't hit, like the last couple have not hit, it makes it very obvious that we don't have like dog food content. We don't have it. Like whenever we enter the drought, we enter the fucking drought. And it's not just me. Like, I want to make it very clear. It's not just me. It's not just MR28 me with all the mods in the game and a bazillion endo and like almost everything leveled, or not. Well, I do have everything leveled and all that shit. It's not that. Because a lot of players get to a satisfy point that is much earlier than mine. My satisfy point was having all the things, being max MR, and getting all that shit. There are a lot of players, and DE knows this, because of where like the bulk of players are, somewhere around like MR 10 to 12. That's where the bulk of players are in that MR, and there's a reason that they're there. Because maybe they've hit their satisfy point. Maybe they're satisfied with what they have, and they just want something else to do. They want an event. They want a reason to show up. They want a reason to co-op with their friends. They want their friends to log on. They want these things that they can't get without DE making it happen. But we don't have dog food content. And sometimes you kind of need it. Major releases, whenever they're good, aren't the only thing to do. Before you go, I'm about to go on a massive endo and credits free to max the mods I've neglected. Do you have any advice on how I can do this faster? You can do it faster? I mean, endo is volume-like, and credits is either the index or profit taker with promo. So your options for getting that stuff. As for like seeing what you have leveled or not using them. I'm R12 and I don't plan to level up anymore. I just wanted my Rubico Prime. Fucking exactly. It's exactly what I need. The RBs are reasonably endo profitable, but you need stars for that, which are not exactly the same. An MR16, but I don't want to play anymore because there's nothing to do but grind, and that's boring to me. See, that's the thing. That's always the only thing to do. That's always the thing to do in Warframe is grind. But it's what are you grinding on? Grinding on weapons gets old for everybody at different points. Particularly your platinum, trading or buying prime access is the mix. I was turning to Warframe because they showed him the Railjack TennoCon show, and he was like, yes, I'll play this game for this awesome No Man's Sky bullshit. And as soon as Railjack came out, he looked at the price of building it, watched me do one mission by Railjack, and hasn't played since. Can't blame him. Super disappointing. But yeah, anyway, yes, that is going to do it for the stream. I'm going to head to bed. Thank you guys for hanging out and listening to yet another fucking rant about how this should just be better. And like, I know DE's capable of it, which is the most frustrating. But yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. I will see y'all later. Ooh, there it goes. It went standing up on proper ways. Later, all.
I'm lacking sincerity, but you don't care at all. Miss booze, live cigarettes, trying to take me home.